Good morning, all.
Good morning, George.
Welcome back from the islands, Joe.
It is opening day at the ballpark, and I'm sorry. I know you have never been around me at opening day at the ballpark. We used to skip work.
Am I in
I know.
danger?
We used to skip work. We used to get in trouble. My brother, Jerry, my cousin, we'd get in trouble because we would pretend like we were going to work and we went to the baseball game. So, yes, we used to do that. Now, I have several clips. Before George and I get talking a little bit of politics, let's stay focused on baseball. Now, folks, if you're out there on opening day, we found out Carlene's sons are all headed down to see the Braves on opening day. If you're out there on opening day, you may get to see this. Not many times in life do you get to see this play right here. Carlton Fisk gets 2 outs at home plate. Lonnie, turn it up and play this one. Okay, there you go. Carlton Fisk gets 2 Yankees out at home plate. They sent both around third. Bases loaded, sent both around third. And Carlton Fisk gets 2 outs at home plate. There you go. George, we got a lot going on. I got a couple things that I've been trying to watch here. Not to get into all the morning shows, which I watched all of them. Last night, I've asked this question. Last night, I watched Donald Trump on Greta Van Susteren. Did you get a chance to watch that town hall?
I did not.
Okay, I watched that. If that would have been, first of all, it was Greta Van Susteren, which is outstanding. She does a great job. It was 1 hour. And if Donald Trump would have repeated that performance everywhere he went, now it's a difference in who's asking the questions because the other media has always tried to ask questions to catch Trump. That's not who Greta is. She's not trying to catch him. It was a great town hall. Now, if all else fails to turn the campaign around, go nuclear.
Trump's campaign.
Any campaign. If all else fails and you want to get rid of a candidate, you go nuclear and you go abortion. You have to.
Which is the convention talk.
Right. You got to talk. You got to bring up the issue of abortion, and that's what they did to Trump. And he did not do well with the question last week. And I say that nicely. He did not do well. But with $19 trillion in debt, if you are concerned about abortion, if you are pro-life or pro-choice this morning, if you are concerned that the court may overturn Roe v. Wade, if you are concerned that it should be or shouldn't be, whatever side you're on, if you don't have a country, it doesn't matter.
Does not matter. Exactly. Wonderful point. I was listening to other news yesterday. Karl Rove, the architect of the last 2 defeats for Republicans on the presidential side. He sits with a smug smile being interviewed by, I think it was Fox News, which I'm starting to not watch that one anymore, trying to get over to Newsmax.com. But he sits there with a smug smile, and I love to read blogs after printed articles. One fellow says, it appears that Karl Rove, the so-called architect, has lost his mind and should now be called the lunatic. I'm virtually 100% sure that what Karl Rove is saying is the Republican Party's actual game plan. And I agree with this writer. He says that if they do this, if they have this brokered convention, they are in denial and have no idea how much the conservatives, evangelicals, the middle class, and many others who used to be like loyal puppy dog supporters, and that would have been me once upon a time, truly loathe their duplicity, it may make sense to vote for the Libertarian candidate. I personally am in the process of doing this. This is the man writing, not me yet. This party may finally have its chance to show what they can do. If Trump goes third party, I would vote for him at this time, but that is why I'm exploring other less publicized options. I hate being ignorant about anyone that is running for office. It would be similar to a sports scout just studying publicized players and not assessing the entire population of the teams. Point on, man makes a very good point. He's thinking outside the box now because the GOP still has not realized the danger they are in, and they're willing, absolutely willing, to let Hillary win. So the party apparatus, the big government apparatus, which includes the two parties now, can continue robbing from the taxpayers.
Well, I have something's not adding up, and I say that, I don't say that lightly. Something's not adding up here, George, because the DNC is in as much, if not more, turmoil than the RNC. Yes. But I'm confused on why Rice or Rice, however Priebus, however he says his name, Reince Priebus, yes, Reince Priebus. I'm concerned on why he has to do 10 interviews a day. Every time I turn around, every morning show he was on.
Oh, that's propaganda.
I understand.
You tell a lie enough times, people start believing.
But what he's doing is he is saying, I'm from Wisconsin. I can't endorse a candidate, but if I come on the air enough, I can lay enough out there to cause enough confusion and discontent that people may think, well, what happens at this contested convention? Now, I understand what he's doing. He is playing the people by making you think that all he's doing is these interviews, helping bring you information about the convention and where everything stands. George, where's Deborah Wasserman Schultz? Where's her interviews every day? Where are the interviews with her and the people asking her, will they be a broker DNC convention? What would you do if Hillary got indicted? What would you do if superdelegates switch over to Bernie? Now, obviously, she's a nominee, but where is the DNC chair? Where is that hype over there?
She's made so many gaffes in the last few months. I think the DNC don't even want her to be viewed. They put her in a closet and hidden her away. You don't even hear her mention of her now.
But why isn't the media
I think she's
wanting
getting ready to run for office anyway herself.
Why isn't the media asking, hey, we want to talk to the DNC chair?
Well, you know the answer to that.
Well, I know, but
why
it's
isn't
just...
Chris Wallace bringing that up on Fox News Sunday?
None of them do.
That's
okay.
The question I'd have there.
Folks, I can answer you. Now, you're going to think, now, first of all, they've done all these polls. How does Donald Trump poll holding a dog? How does Donald Trump poll without holding a dog? How does Donald Trump poll wearing a cheese head, without a cheese head? I got so sick of all these polls. Now, obviously, according to the polls in Wisconsin, Donald Trump hates women. Okay, I mean, my God, I'm so tired of that. Now, let me tell you this. This is my thought. This is my prediction, George. Okay, what has been different about Trump's campaign for 2 weeks? And here's the answer. What's been different about it for 2 weeks?
They've been attacking him on his gaffes.
No.
Well,
no.
He hasn't been able to get his message out.
No. Let me tell you the difference. You ready?
Go.
Ivanka had her baby. What's that mean? Let me tell you something. Ivanka, his daughter, is Trump's chief of staff. He listens when she says daddy. When she says daddy, you shouldn't go on that stage. Dad, however she does it, he listens. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Yesterday, this morning's reported that Ivanka will be back on the campaign trail. Ivanka is back in the campaign. Now, his sons are great guys. But Ivanka is running the show. My prediction. You take 2 weeks ago, Ivanka left the campaign, had a baby. Trump does very well. He hasn't changed. He doesn't need Ivanka to run the country. She kindly says, Dad, when you go on stage, let's not say this today. That's my opinion.
All right.
Huh?
All right.
Watch and see.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you.
Huh? The chief of staff has been gone. The chief of staff. Ivanka's been gone for 2 weeks. She's back on the campaign trail.
Well, even campaigning is what it's all about. Even in this 9th district now, we have the incumbent, Mr. Doug Collins, is attacking what he thinks is his greatest danger, Dr. Paul Brown, and no mention at all about Bernie Fontaine or Mr. Fitzgerald or Sullivan or any of these other people. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity out of these people, so I think that it's time to start. They should start working up their campaigns. But so far, right now, it's Doug and Dr. Brown calling one another liars. Brown carries the baggage of an alleged, and I don't know, because I've never seen any documents, ethics violation, but there's no documents to it. I searched the web. There's news stories about it, but I see nothing that says that he was actually charged or was investigated by the FBI or Ethics Commission, anything like that. Maybe there was. If there was, I'd like to see the documents. Send them to fetchernews.com. In any event, this is going to be interesting because Mr. Doug Collins, while being a conservative Republican, fell off the wagon when he voted for the omnibus spending bill, and his explanation for that is not satisfactory to the voters. That's why there's 5 people challenging him for his right to stay in office. So we have that facing us as well.
Well, I talked about that earlier in the show, that the 9th district race is, and it's the mood of the country. It's the mood of the country. Donald Trump, the 9th district race. There are actually a total of 5 candidates with Congressman Doug Collins, and there's Dr. Paul Brown, and then you have Mike Scapine, Roger Fitzpatrick, and Bernie Fontaine is there. Let's go into that. Let's take a brief break. I'm sorry, folks. It is opening day at the ballpark. I can't go too far, and I have promised my Cub fan. Now look, for my Cub fan, you got to stay all the way through the show, and at 10 o'clock when we go off, I will read your text, okay? But this is for my Cub fan. Now, this was my favorite pitcher when I was a kid. I did not like the Mets, folks. I was a Yankee fan. But this was my favorite pitcher when I was a kid. My dad used to take me to Shea Stadium to see this guy pitch when I was...
Sandy Koufax.
No, I'm not that old. Anyhow. This was my favorite pitcher when I was a kid. Lonnie, we're going to play this clip. This is a possible perfect game in the 9th inning, favorite pitcher, and then we're going to take a brief commercial break, and we'll come back and continue our opening day at the ballpark special. Lonnie, play that clip, turn it up, and then take us to break.
Is almost perfect. His speed and control are brilliant. Ernie Banks is just one victim of his 11 strikeouts. He gets flawless support from his teammates before 59,083 fans, a record turnout in Shea Stadium. When he strikes out Al Spangler, he's pitched 8 full innings of scoreless, hitless baseball. Nancy Seaver holds back her emotions as a huge crowd watches every pitch. The first Cub up in the 9th. Randy Hutley tries a spoiling bunt, but Seaver throws him out. 2 outs to go to a perfect game. Jim Qualls, a rookie outfielder, is up. A clean hit to left center field, and there goes the perfect game. But there's a standing ovation for Seaver by 59,000 fans. It's still a near-perfect game when Don Kessinger flies out to end it. And it's a vital victory for the Mets. Back-to-back wins shake up the Cubs.
Save big on service at Schadenkirk. Get a full-service oil change for only $29.99. That's right. Get an oil and filter change, tire rotation, brake check, AC check, and multi-point inspection, all for just $29.99.
Give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Get the $29.99 oil change special at Schadenkirk Ford or any of our convenient locations in the heart of Georgia.
As Bentley says, give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Online at SchadenkirkAtlanta.com.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and Ellijay.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any quality toppings, any crust, and any 2 freshly made medium pizzas. Get your favorite high-quality specialties like meat lovers or backyard barbecue chicken, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
New Schadenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchadenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Better days ahead. Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Good morning from the office. I'm BKP, your host, and we're back, and it is opening day at the ballpark. Now, this is Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax did get. Now, Tom Seaver, before we left, you watched Tom Seaver pitch what was hopefully a no-hitter. He got the win, but that was spoiled there in the ninth inning playing the Cubs. 1969. My most memorable ball game is watching Steve Carlton and the Philadelphia Phillies pitch, and Tom Seaver. The Mets and Phillies played. It was a Seaver-Carlton matchup. Those were always good. Now, Sandy Koufax here, a lefty legend. This is the scorebook of the perfect game, September 9th, 1965. And the thing about this perfect game, George, it was a 1-0. 1-0. The Dodgers won, the Chicago Cubs. Oh, sorry for my Cub fan. That's 2 strikes, Cub. My Cub fan's going to be so mad today. But this is against the Cubs. Just saying. 1965. 1-0.
That was 50 years ago.
1-0. Sandy Koufax against the Cubs. I won't say that anymore. I will no longer say that. Sandy Koufax. George, here's something that comes into question that I think. Now, Rice Previs, I think, is going on all the shows just to create cloud that it could be a contested convention. And they're going to enjoy giving people of California the opportunity to throw it over the edge of having a contested convention. They will actually, somebody told me the other day that what upset them the most is they were getting fundraising letters from the Cruz campaign, and there was no fundraising based on Cruz's policy of what he wants to do as president of the United States. It was stop Trump. Everything he was getting was stop Trump. It wasn't because the other guy's better. So they will be major. They will forgo the Northeast. They'll go after it. Cruz will go after New York. He'll try in Pennsylvania and some of the northeastern states. But they will hang their hat. He's been out there a couple times. They will hang their hat on California, and they will run ads in California, George, telling the people out there that they will be the ones in this country that'll stop Trump. And there'll be a major ad campaign in California.
Well, there might be, but I can tell you conservative voters who live in California under the heel of Jerry Brown and his socialist party, the Democrat Party, don't like to be manipulated any more than we do. And I don't see that happening. You know, if Rove, Reince Priebus, Paul Ryan, if these people pull off a shenanigan at the GOP convention and deny Trump, it's adios America. It's no longer a government. Bless you. It's no longer a government of the people, by the people, for the people. The new GOP system is a dictatorship to the establishment. President of the establishment, by the establishment, and for the establishment. That's where we're headed. And we see it. We see it, and they don't realize that we do.
Well, George, you know, the other thing is I said, and a lot of people got upset with me that support Ted Cruz. I said after the last Super Tuesday, the Cruz campaign, his bid for the presidency was over, or the nomination based on, I think the only way Cruz can be the nominee is to get 1237. And I think they know that. That's why they're trying to get 12 delegates here, 18 here. That's why they are negotiating the delegate world now, is because I think Cruz is sharp enough to realize he gets 1237 or he's not the nominee, because nobody is, if it goes to a broker convention, they're not looking to make Ted Cruz the nominee. They're going to be looking downstream.
That will be the death of the Republican Party. It
will
kill the Republican Party.
But the thing we need to put in the loop on this discussion is the possibility of a negotiation for vice president with the delegates. Okay, I will move enough delegates your way to complete your nomination, but the delegates vote for me for vice president. A lot of people don't realize you pick your vice president, but still the delegates vote. It's like you put them on a ballot.
Reince Priebus talked about that this morning on radio. and he talked about the importance of having the vice president, and he said it will be the GOP who selects the vice president for whoever is the candidate.
Well,
They keep trying to fool us with nonsense.
Well, here's the thing, though, George. What we don't realize when I say this is, if you don't keep up with the sport, and that's what they've made out of it, if you don't keep up with the sport, you don't realize that the vice president actually in the convention rules is also voted on. It's not as fun. You remember, I used to like the years ago, not the most recent, but years ago when I was real young, I used to like the great state of New York cast. They and every state would be come up with more creative ways to announce how, and even maybe wear Oscar Pool hats and everything like that to announce their support for delegates for a candidate. Point being is, a lot of people don't realize that there's a roll call on vice president. Now, if you have 1237, you write the rules. If you are, that's why they're calling these the Mitt Romney rules, folks. It's not just because Mitt Romney decided to write the rules for the GOP. He was the nominee, won the majority of the delegates. So that they go in and write the convention rules. So that's number one. So you want to win 1237, so you're writing the rules. That's number one. Number two, if you are the nominee, you pick your vice president. Well, what a lot of people don't know is actually that's still voted on. But there's no other candidates put in because you got the 1237 and you get who you want.
That was the case with McCain and Sarah Palin.
Right. But with the situation here, there could be a couple names given to the delegates to choose from, not just your pick.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of brokering going on.
Well, I said last week, I think that if Trump would pick Mike Huckabee, or indicate that he would like Mike Huckabee as the GOP vice presidential candidate, he would sweep this thing up. There's enough evangelicals out there that would not fall off the wagon and run this thing forward.
Well, George, I'm concerned that I think you're right there. I mean, Trump just needs to get out of Wisconsin tomorrow. It was very easy with their talk radio in Wisconsin with Scott Walker, and Trump summed it up last night. He gave Scott Walker a lot of money. Scott Walker remembered where Donald Trump was, and he gave Scott Walker a lot of money in his re-election bids and his challenges. And but obviously he's not supporting Donald Trump now, and they said why? And Donald Trump said, I knocked him out of the presidential race first 2 months in. So
I don't think Trump knocked him out.
I
think
think
the GOP knocked him out. He was too strong of a candidate with Scott Walker, and they put their own guy in charge of his campaign, and the fellow immediately spent him into penury. He had no money to carry on, and he never realized what hit him. He did not know that they were putting money in one pocket and taking it out of the other.
George,
that's why Scott Walker.
I think Cruz will win Wisconsin tomorrow.
Yeah, probably, possibly.
I think he
possibly.
will. I think he will.
Possibly.
I don't. Now,
well, the anti-Trump campaign has been so vociferous, so loud, and anyway, forget that word, that people could be confused. Not that they're as dumb as they used to be. We're getting smarter out here.
George, I think I think he wins Wisconsin.
Vociferous. Thank you.
Yes, I think Cruz will win Wisconsin, and I think Trump will go on to win New York. One thing I want to caution anyone out there is Paul Ryan wants to be president of the United States. Now, let me be clear on that. Paul Ryan went to his first trip to Israel or whatever and told the press over there that absolutely not. He didn't. He wasn't a candidate for president of the United States. We've heard all that. We heard he didn't want to be Speaker of the House, but after several gentle tugs, no pun intended there, or no, he reluctantly said, if you can't find somebody, I'll be Speaker of the House. Don't fall for any of that. None of that.
That's right.
Okay.
And the danger for him is if he accepts a broken nomination and the GOP loses to Hillary Clinton, he's out of a job both as a representative, Speaker of the House, and president. He can go back and be a dog catcher in Wisconsin.
Now, why do we keep talking about his potential possibility of being the nominee? Because as the ranking member of the GOP, as the Speaker of the House, as the ranking member of the House of Representatives for the Republican Party, he presides over the convention.
He does.
He presides over the convention. So he is presiding over the convention. Now, folks, remember when he ran for vice president? You do not run for vice president if you don't have an aspiration of being president. Now, here's what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Dick Cheney didn't want to. Wait a minute. When you sit down and you talk to somebody and you're vetting them to be vice president of the United States, you're saying, hey, if for any unknown reason something happens, you will be president. The guy that takes that, Paul Ryan, wants to be president of the United States. That's the reason he took it with Mitt Romney. That's the reason he took Speaker of the House. He wanted those positions, and I believe he is out and out deceiving people when he says he doesn't. What do you think?
Okay,
well.
I mean, you might be right. That's a long discussion to get around to the point that he's still there, but he could lose all.
I think Paul Ryan. Now, Priebus said something that I didn't like yesterday because he said it, and I'm not going to say it's a quote, but I'm pretty sure it was like this, George. He said he was sure that their nominee would come from one of the three candidates remaining in the race. Why would he say that knowing Kasich realistically cannot be the nominee?
Very good point. I listened to the interview too. That was on Mike Wallace's Sunday morning. Yeah, no, I saw that. But a few moments later, he talked about, he slipped into form and talked about selecting the candidate, the party selecting the candidate. And that shocked me even worse. And I don't have that quote either in front of me, but there we are. It's, the Republican Party is going to have to change. It is simply going to have to divorce itself from the big government, crony capitalism type of thing. Capitalism is what makes things work. I understand it. We need it. It's what runs a country, financially creates jobs, all that. But it's not there to fill the coffers of weak-willed politicians. And that's why they're there, so they can retire comfortably.
Well, I last night at the town hall, I want to reference two quick things, George. Last night at the town hall, a young lady stood up, a college student stood up, and we want to hear that Trump shouts everybody down. He disrespects people. He can't talk to people. There's nothing professional about the guy. We hear all the negatives, okay? But last night, this young lady stands up and she discusses debt, student debt, okay? And very nice young lady, and Trump looks back at her and says, education can't be free, first and foremost. It can't be free, okay? So that's the bottom line. Very, very direct on that. Very direct. And then he told the young lady, he says, we've got these escalating costs and we've got this. And he spelled out one right after another the reasons why and what we could do. But he told this young lady whether she liked it or not, but he was nice to her and said, it can't be free. Now, the lady, I try to find moments when something happens that connects with what's going on in this country that people have had it with. And this young lady stood up last night and said to Donald Trump that she was tired. What would he do? What would his tax plan do? And he explained it, but she said she was tired. She was middle class, and she was tired when her and her husband did their taxes. Okay? They looked and seen the amount of taxes they were paying the government, and then they would meet people that didn't even work that were getting checks for $4,000 refunds back from the government.
Yeah, the
Tax
credits.
Right. I've often said that people have had it with that stuff.
Yeah, the earned tax credits.
Yeah, and they're not understanding what's resonating in this country.
Yeah. What was Trump's answer to that?
Well, Trump went into his tax plan, and I don't want to start going through that. He went into his tax plan, and Trump has a very good tax plan. It's got a lot of high ratings. I don't want to get into that for a reason. I want to have time for your final thoughts of the day. Did you see the look on Hillary's face when she was asked by Chuck Todd if she had heard from the FBI? Priceless, man. Priceless. He asked her, well, obviously they're using the word interview. I know it's interrogate, not my word, theirs, George. But they used the word interview, and the only person Chuck Todd did ask her said, has the FBI contacted you for an interview? And she paused and made a pretty rough look at the camera and said, no, I haven't heard from him. And it was so telling, that pause. Like, I know they're calling this week, but no, I haven't heard from them.
This is going to be exciting.
Huh?
I can hardly wait. I know what's going to happen. She's not going to. She'll invoke Fifth Amendment rights, sign her rights waiver, be advised, and that's it. She'll walk out. Then that's the end of it. As far as I'm concerned, the FBI can submit their investigation, their entire case, and it will be a good one. It will be one that cannot be ignored by Loretta Lynch. It cannot be ignored.
But will she? You say it cannot, but will she ignore it?
Well,
I mean, what will happen?
Well, she can say, all right, let's have a special prosecutor. The special prosecutor that will push that case beyond the election. That's a delay.
Okay. All right.
And then she'll pardon herself if she wins.
All right.
But if she loses, and they have gone that route, her next destination is Sing Sing.
Folks, we're going to take a brief break on that note.
That's a state prison. She'll go to a federal prison.
Yeah, let's take
Colorado, where they
let's
put
take
the really
a
bad ones.
brief break on that note. Sanders is still in the race, but Hillary is getting a little edgy right now that Sanders is still in the race. Doesn't seem to like that he's still hanging around.
Well, she's got short the other day. She got short to somebody out there.
She was tired of the
faces.
She was tired of the Sanders campaign lying on her. So anyhow, we'll be back right after these brief messages, and we'll wrap up with George's final thoughts of the day. And we'll talk just a little more opening day baseball when we return. Lonnie, take us a break.
Save big on service at Schadenkirch. Get a full service oil change for only $29.99. That's right. Get an oil and filter change, tire rotation, brake check, AC check, and multi-point inspection, all for just $29.99.
Give us a shot at Schadenkirch.
Get the $29.99 oil change special at Schadenkirch Ford or any of our convenient locations in the heart of Georgia.
As Bentley says, give us a shot at Schadenkirch.
Online at SchadenkirchAtlanta.com.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked and Ella J next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked and Ella J next to Walmart.
El Rey and Ella J.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ella J.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any quality toppings, any crust, and any 2 freshly made medium pizzas. Get your favorite high-quality specialties like meat lovers or backyard barbecue chicken, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All-new Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ella J. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Better days ahead.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And we're back. Good morning from the office. I'm BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. At this time, we always like to save enough room for George's final thoughts. George, what have you prepared for us today?
Well, we're talking politics, and we're being hustled by the GOP, and I liked that term the other day, so I changed the title of my little essay. Mr. Kevin McCarthy, Majority Whip under Speaker Paul Ryan, on behalf of the National Republican Committee, sent out a desperate email last week beseeching conservatives to chip in a contribution, enter your amount, to save the nation. The threat to our nation implies the fear that Nancy Pelosi would return as Speaker again, and it will be our fault if we don't send them some more money. So what's new? I stopped sending the GOP money when I realized they used my contribution to defeat real conservative candidates who stood against establishment rhino incumbents. Well, their pleas fall on deaf ears now when they ask me. I'm done with them, and for that very reason also. Also, the way the government squanders, wastes, and overspends our tax money, I'd like to stop sending them anything either if it wasn't the fear of going to jail. Want to send the GOP another strong message? Don't send them any more money. Send it only to your candidate of choice. But it doesn't really matter. The crony capitalist crowd have it and will pay off the bill to guarantee that corrupt politicians, including Hillary and Pelosi, will continue to keep them in business. For example, the establishment simply hates Ted Cruz because he's not a team player. He's not one of them. They consider it their absolute duty to burn him at the stake and make of him a male version of Joan d'Arc, an unrepentant, miserable soul who doesn't understand his place in the establishment and needs to be made an example of so that even his ashes wouldn't be recognized. I suspect they're going to be fast running out of choices. Then the really big shock, Donald Trump, energizing voters by clumsily speaking the truth about the political corruptions we have long been paying for and focusing us on the real dangers to America. The horde of illegal aliens crossing our border, Muslim jihadism, ATF armed drug cartels, wealth-crushing tax loads, and other myriad unworkable government programs that now burden us. Expecting this loud, boisterous, self-funded multi-billionaire to implode at any moment because of the wild things he said, it hasn't happened yet. He grows. Their own pick, Jeb Bush, couldn't handle the assault, and lo, he's gone, but not forgotten. The establishment simply does not know how to handle their double gigantic problem of Trump and Cruz, except to approach it not with honest competition, but through skullduggery, lies, innuendos, accusations, and orchestrating minor criminal charges against a Trump staff member. Didn't Uma Abedin slug a protester on behalf of the odious Hillary Clinton once? Where's the charge against her for that battery? What is happening, of course, is that the unbudgeted monies spent by the RNC and the GOP PACs to try to thwart the double dangers of Ted Cruz and Donald Trump is almost gone, which is why the only one state-winning company man, John Kasich, with practically no delegates, is still in the game. Losers like Kasich usually drop out when backers realize they no longer have a chance of having their puppet in office. That being the truth of organized political campaigning, how can it be that Kasich can afford to stay in the race if he has no backers except it be a compilation of super PACs and RNC funds? Those very funds that McCarthy now wants us to replenish. Don't do it. It's time to save America. They're hustling us. Apparently, the only news important for the media to feed us is the alleged misdemeanor battery charge against Trump's chief of staff. Our problem is that we are being overrun by terrorism, squashed by political correctness, and fearful of having our means of self-defense stripped away by a growing fascist government. The GOP is doing nothing to stop it. They are not entitled to keep their offices. That's my thought for the day.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it. You know, I made a big deal out of opening day at the ballpark. Yes, one, baseball. I enjoy baseball very much. And two, you know, I always hear all the campaign, and I want to bring this around this morning. I want to hear all the campaigns and politicians talk about that's not who we are, and that's not who we are as a people. Well, you know what? When it comes to baseball, you know what? I don't think these people know who we are. I don't think they have any idea who we are. I don't think they have any idea what a hard day's work is and getting done and taking off and going down to the simple pleasures of enjoying baseball, America's game. Okay, I don't think they understand that. and that has bothered me. I don't know what really bothered me more, Hillary Clinton pretending to be a New York Yankee fan or the New York Yankees trading and getting Johnny Damon from the Boston Red Sox. Those were both bad days for me. Okay, but that being said, I don't think they know who we are, and I don't think they have a clue. And I think that's what Donald Trump has been touching on, is do we have a country or do we not? A couple quick things I want to caution you about. Delegates. You're going to hear a lot about delegates. Who are these delegates? Now, we don't have time to go into them thoroughly, but these delegates are the people that head into these GOP local conventions. Now, you continue to think as the voter that you're making all these decisions, choices, and putting people in place that will go carry out and do your wishes that you went and pulled the lever for. Not so. You go to these conventions, the people that show up are the local people in the GOP local. I'm going to say this. I know you don't like it out there. It's like foul language, and I know a lot of my friends don't like it, establishment, but you have GOP local chair people, the GOP district. These are Republican Party. They're carrying the water. That's who shows up. I'm going to tell you now, even though Georgia went overwhelmingly, do you remember Georgia gave Trump the biggest victory at that time of any victory he had yet, Georgia. But people, the delegates that are going to go to the convention in Cleveland for Georgia are not really Trump delegates. They're bound and going to go cast their vote. But if they were asked who would you vote for, trust me, a large portion wouldn't be Donald Trump. You need to understand these delegates are not going to cast votes for Donald Trump and who they are. They're not the Trump supporters. They are the delegates that got into the GOP and they got close to the GOP and they pick their delegates. So when it comes time, they'll do what they need done. Trust me, watch the word delegate. Now, I don't blame Ted Cruz and not upset with Ted Cruz, but Ted Cruz knows that he has to pull off 1,237 delegates. He can't win the old-fashioned way by votes. He has to start negotiating delegates that are not really warm to Donald Trump or are open to voting for him. Okay? Trust me. That's what he has a whole staff. Trump learned last week the hard way, maybe naive, but I wouldn't think so, but thinking, hey, I guess if they give me the delegates, they're mine. I won. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Just because you win, that's meaningless. That's right. So be careful. Now, the ridiculous side, and I want to get with this. I hope you had a chance to watch the special Brett Baer did with Fox News on the military, the declining military and the military threats. It was very good. Folks, you need to pay attention to what's happening in our military. You need to pay attention to the social experiment in our military. You need to pay attention to the activity of the Russians and the Chinese that is very aggressive against our military. They're just not telling you. For some reason, I don't know why, I decided to read the Arab Spring speech from Barack Obama in Egypt one more time, because I tell you what, it was really scary to me to hear Bob Gates say that everybody in the national security side advised Obama not to remove Mubarak, right, the Egyptian president, not to remove him as president of Egypt. And he went with 3, I think his words were, backbencher consultants basically there on his staff instead of military brass and his security team saying not to. And one of them said, well, we want to be on the right side of history. And Gates made a joke like, okay, how did you figure out where that's at? Because, that's pretty tough. Anyhow, you need to pay attention to that. Look.
That's how Obama thinks. That was his thought anyway. Those others agreed with him.
My next thought is they'll ask Donald Trump if SeaWorld should release the orca whale. I'm serious, folks. I don't know what these people will ask Donald Trump next. Hey, Mr. Trump, do you think SeaWorld should release the orca whale into the wild? Come on, really seriously, folks. Abortion is a serious subject, okay? I understand that. But when all else fails, throw in abortion, and that will definitely mess up a Republican candidate any day of the week, okay, especially Trump. The other ones, they're very clear, but just saying. Folks, $19 trillion in debt. Don't forget, we are trying to replace Antonin Scalia with Antonin Scalia. You need to understand that. Well, there's only one. Trust me, folks, we need to replace Antonin Scalia with Antonin Scalia. There was just a major decision that would have had big changes to the union dues requirement that the Supreme Court had a 4-4 split, okay? That would have been a major. Scalia would have come down against the unions on the mandatory dues being paid by the members. They wouldn't have to be members. Just paraphrasing real quick here. But anyhow, that was big. We are trying to replace him. All right? Obama has us in a very dangerous situation. We're looking at a possible economic collapse that they're not talking to you about. So I'm not interested in just sitting here trying to make fear out of a Monday, but I'm telling you right now, don't get caught in what the Republicans are doing in Wisconsin. Relax a minute, think about it. And look, Trump, the Trump campaign last week was like car wreck. Quit looking at it, look away. Before I leave, my one thing here, my brackets, your brackets may be gone, but the UNC Tar Heels are playing for the national championship tonight. Tonight, national championship, they will beat Villanova. They handle Syracuse, but they will beat Villanova. So my bracket is all busted up, but I went with North Carolina right from the start. So that's tonight. And this weekend, I want to tell anybody out there from any of the other counties, I really enjoyed Saturday. I watched 3 baseball games. Opening day up here at Gilmer County, I watched Dawson play, White County play, Union play, Pickens play. Fannin County is all JV. I watched all you guys play this weekend, 3 games up here. That was great. I really enjoyed that. Let me give you our sponsors this morning. Don't forget, if you would like to be a sponsor of our show, please let us know. Chief@veterannews.com or 706-889-9700. Day Chevrolet in Jasper, Circuit World. L&L Beanery, 84, Salon 84 Hair and Color in Jasper. Clock Tower Gifts and Boutique. Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper, 1907 Restaurant. UPS Store of East Ellijay. North Georgia Diamond. Mattress Overstock. Check out their new location. They've expanded a lot more room. Go over here to East Ellijay Walmart Shopping Center and check out the new, just one door down, Mattress Overstock. Ellijay Fitness, WebWorks Lawn Care. Give this guy a call, 706-889-4893. I recommend WebWorks Lawn Care. Messrs Orchard and Blue Ridge, Ace Hardware, Amish Furniture. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back at 8 a.m., but coming up next is North Georgia's only live online newscast, Kevin Hensley with the Morning Report. Stay tuned after these messages for the Morning Report coming your way. I'm your host, BKP, and George here.
See ya.
We're out. Mañana.